It's TMNT time. Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates April O'Neil, just in the brown box. That's how I got it from the Super 7 store itself. The real box, which is inside of it. Let me just rip this open. Yeah, brother. We're not keeping this plastic, and I don't care if I get a scratch on the box. I'm not a box collector. I'm a figure collector. There's the box with the TMNT logo in a nice green. Also got Ultimates on top of it, and you have a logo with April O'Neil on there. Has the name, and you can slide it out to reveal the third layer of the box. It's classic April with a bunch of stuff and a bunch of cool options. Obviously, if you don't know April O'Neil, then you probably don't know TMNT, because she's one of the most recurring characters in any version of the Turtles. If it's the comic books, the cartoons, the movie, she's basically in all of it. And if she isn't, then they screwed it up. Also, it's not Megan Fox. If you just, no, get out. Okay, on to the review. I mean, if you enjoy the content, why wouldn't you like and subscribe? Are you that kind of person? Unreliable? And there she is, the weak link of this wave. Yes, I'm just calling it right now. See, she stands at about 16.5 centimeters, a little over that to the top of her head. And that gives us 6.5, 6.6 inches to the top. Size comparisons. Here's Jolter, NECA Raphael, Super 7 Leonardo, Mattel Stone Cold Steve Austin, Super 7 Rocksteady, and Darkseid. Oof, I have to say something about this one. So, yeah, I just called her the weak link of the wave. Why do I say that? Well, we have the original side by side, and this is one of the cases. And we've had that before. I said the same thing about Shredder. This line sets out to recreate the toys and make them better. For some of them, it's phenomenal how much they added, how much they make it actually look better in like so many versions. But this one, I don't feel it accomplishes that. Now, first and foremost, I bring out the original because, let's be honest here, the original wasn't really great. Look at that thing. It's yikes, that face. Ugh, no, we don't really like that. But this is also not the very first. There was like different versions. Some had stripes on the side, some didn't, but it's still the one that they went by. Original release wasn't great, but that's something they should not try to copy, and I'm just gonna get that out of the way now. Also, we do have like a more cartoon accurate hat on the figure right now. She does have some more hats that are a lot more reminiscent of the toy. Now, okay, the head looks alright. You do have a very nice paint job in the hair. Really dig that one. It really stands out. Really makes it look good. But then the face, it's just kind of like, it looks Barbie-ish. And you could say, well, you know, that's kind of what to strive for. It just kind of looks fairly plain. But it does have some resemblance to the cartoon April. Also, she does have the fan service. There's the chest, there's the cleavage. Although, now, as a man of culture, I might say like the boobage could maybe be a little bit bigger. Like, look at the original one. It seemed like they all their budget went into the boobs on the old one, and not so much the face. Back to the figure at hand, it looks plain. It just looks incredibly boring and plain. I don't really like the skin tone. The yellow is nice, it does pop, but it really could have used some you know, dry brushing. Could have used something to elevate it. Could have used maybe a little bit more detail in it. And I get it. We're always going back to the fact, well, this is supposed to look like the old school toy. But, you know, they're doing things like this, and then they're doing things like that. It's just like, you know, you have all the added detail in the torso. You have like all the wrinkles. You have like the dry brushing in Rocksteady, and it's just like the shirt is molded with like very, very tiny detail, and it just looks, this looks great. And then you come over from this to that, and it's just like, doesn't this look like night and day? That's just what I'm saying. I mean, detail, there's not that much to speak of. You do have the pouches, you do have some wrinkles on it. You have the blue line, which isn't even cleanly applied. It doesn't just kind of stops over there. And you have the Turtles logo in the back. Then we go to the hip part and some more blue lines. And a butt, which honestly looks fairly nice. It is soft plastic, so it does have some fairly nice thighs, and actually a good figure. generally looking at it, you know, it's appealing to the male eye. You pig! Yeah. And down to the white boots, which again, paint. It is kind of thickly applied in some parts to get it thick, but overall, I mean, it does look clean. It does cover up, and there's even like the little bit of a line in there, a little bit of a gray line that goes around it, which looks good. But yeah, like I'm saying, I don't know. I'm not. I had this figure now for a little bit, and I'm just not really warming up to it. You can let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think? Did they leave this one a little bit too plain? Or do you think like, well, it's accurate to the figure, to the old school Playmates toy, as it should be? Let me know about it. Let's move on to the articulation. Starting off with the head, it doesn't really move back because with the hair, it moves forward just a little bit and does also not tilt side to side. So it's just, that's kind of like a side effect of the hair, but then again, like you could have maybe left some more room, maybe hollowed out in the back, so you could have had more of it. Then you have the shoulder, it is on a hinge, so that does move all the way up, rotates all the way around. No bicep swivel. That's another thing. Sometimes they do one, sometimes they don't. I just don't get it. Then you have the hinge in the elbow, goes up and down, also rotates, and the fist is on another hinge. And bring that back and forth. Rotation in it. Nothing in the chest area. Again, nothing in the torso. And you only have down the hip part. You can swivel that one, I think. Yeah, that might be a little bit not really side to side. I think it's mostly swivel. Just move that one around. Soft crotch. Then you move the leg forward so it doesn't get into the way. Can bring it up a little bit more, I think. Moves out to the side, and this joint is weird. And moves to the back. Also stretches the butt even more. Yeah. Then you can rotate it on here. Somehow makes an ugly squeaky noise, and it's not so great. Then have the knee moves up. And you can rotate that one as well, same as the elbow. Also moves forward a little bit, yikes, break it. Then the boot does not have a swivel. Another case of like, you could have added a swivel, but they didn't. Then it moves forward on the foot, and also there's some nice detail on there with a Viacom copyright. Does tilt side to side, but it's really fighting me. Oh, there we go. Now it's more lenient. I was afraid the peg in there might break off, but now it works, so that's fine. And for your accessories, you got the two faces that are a lot more reminiscent of the old school toy. Here's like the regular one and the one with a headphones on and a microphone, well, a headset. Honestly, I kind of like those more. I don't know, it's like there's a certain charm to it, and it looks pretty good. Obviously, they fixed the face compared to the old Playmates toy, which looked pretty rough. Also, the headset is completely rubbery. That will not break off. I did have a little bit of extra paint on the side of her cheek, so I kind of scratched it off, but there's still a mark on it. So quality control, I just had to get rid of that. It was annoying me. Then you have open hands, and you got trigger finger hands, which have a hinge that moves to the side, you know, up and down over here instead of back and forth. So you got those for the gun, or if you want to hold the microphone at an angle maybe. And then you got just regular holding hands for the microphones. You got two of them. One that looks a lot more like the classic one, really weird, blocky, and then something that looks a little bit more, I want to say modern, but none of these look modern. Still, very good, very nicely painted. You got a press pass with a string on there. That's nice. I'm probably going to use that. Also, it's fairly detailed for how small it is. If the light, why is it so dark? News, TMNT. Haha, get it? You got TurtleCon, which quite frankly has a really spooky picture on it. I don't know, why does the turtle not have eyes? What's up with that? And you have the TurtleCon that's just folded up, and it fell out of my hands onto the floor. I hate these small things, I can't pick it up anymore. Also, it looks so dark under here. Then you got the gun, which has like the gunmetal paint job on it. It's a little bit shiny. 2 ninja stars. I only got one out because they look the same. And they're small and they might fall down. You got a tripod for the camera, and of course, what? Oh, okay, that's nicely assembled then. But you have that, and you can put the camera on it. Let me just kind of demonstrate that real quick. Camera has like a little bit of a hole in there because you slide the gun in it. That was like a feature. Okay, that's great. Anyway, that's the camera. Has a red dot on it and a little bit more of a light, bright silver. The camera has the hole in the back because that was a feature of the old April. You sneak the gun in there, sneaky, and then you hold it with that, which is kind of weird, but hi, that was one of the things. I mean, it's cool that we got a realistic gun. They don't really do that anymore. And then you have a suitcase. Wow! Then you have a suitcase, which also has some detail in there, and it's just completely gray plastic. Doesn't have any paint job applied to it. Unfortunately, also doesn't really close up nicely. It's just like... Then, finally, you also have the weapons rack where everything is on there once again, unpainted and just for display. But of course, you could take this apart, but why would you? Final thoughts for this April figure, and yeah, I said a lot of bad things about it, but let me get the record straight. I don't hate this figure. Plain and simple, I just think it should be a little bit more for the price point. Now you get a lot of accessories and I love it. You get a lot of options, but the main figure itself is just kind of meh. It's just kind of underwhelming. I say that with like each wave that Super 7 does, there's always like the one figure, the one character where I'm just kind of like, you know. And it's just so weird that in the exact same way, if we get something like, yes, I'm bringing this one back up. Rocksteady is freaking amazing and I love it. So why is April just meh? I don't know. I guess you could make the argument, well, they follow the original Playmates toy to the T, so that's what we're getting, and that's fine. But just, why are some figures like, why are they taking some more liberties and like modernizing some of the looks of other figures, and then figures like this one is just like, oh, you know, she gets a different head. That's modernizing April. She gets the head. That's it. The figure's okay. It's just okay. So if you think it's worth it at the price point, then yes, I can recommend it. But other than that, it's just okay. Maybe do a second one, because there were a lot of April Playmates figures back in the day. So who knows? That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever April O'Neil wants.